So if you're a Sonic fan and you've been following the recent updates with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie and everything like that, you'll see that there's a Sonic Movie 3 confirmed, as well as a Knuckles TV show. Now obviously this is not a news video if you couldn't tell already, because if it was, this would have been dropped days ago. But I really am interested in a Knuckles TV show, so I want to talk about it today in this video, because we've never gotten a TV show that wasn't about Sonic the Hedgehog, yet it was still a Sonic the Hedgehog TV show, if that makes any sense. A while ago, there actually were rumors saying that there was going to be a Knuckles movie, but I guess that's not happening anymore, and perhaps it's just a TV show instead. But either way, I think a TV show is probably the best direction they could have went in, and let me explain why. So you see, we have the Sonic the Hedgehog movie original, the sequel, and the third one is already confirmed. If we actually had a Knuckles movie thrown in the mix, it would kind of feel a little disconnected from the already made Sonic trilogy. Now of course, it would still be essential to know because it is about Knuckles and it is about an essential Sonic character, but it still wouldn't really fall in line with that exact same trilogy. But I do think that giving Knuckles his own TV show kind of gives him a chance to shine in his own different way. Now you see, there's also the Marvel TV shows and also the Star Wars TV shows that are still essential for the series, but they aren't actually in theaters, if you know what I'm saying. Like, they're not actually movies, they're just shows. But they're still giving you an extra chance to see those characters that you love on the big screen in a little smaller scale. And I think that's what Knuckles is going to be doing here in his TV show. That said, it leaves me to question just how important the Knuckles TV show is going to be moving forward in terms for the rest of the Sonic movie trilogy, and so on and so forth. Now, the reason I say it is because the Knuckles TV show is going to be on Paramount Plus, and the movies, of course, are going to be in theaters and stuff like that, so I feel like you'd have to watch the show in order to know what happens next in the movie, and that doesn't really seem to make a whole lot of sense, especially in this scenario. Now, there is another scenario where the Knuckles TV show makes a lot of sense, where maybe it's like an extra piece of information, whereas maybe this takes place before Knuckles actually even meets Sonic, Eggman, Tails, and the rest of the gang. Now, of course, I am well aware that some of the Marvel shows actually do play a big role in what happens in the movies, so it is technically possible for the Knuckles TV show to do the same thing, but I feel like the Marvel audience is much larger than the Sonic audience, so I think this is something they can do. And also, it's Disney. This is something they really can do. Financially, it just makes sense for them to do that because they can bring in revenue for the Disney Plus and also the movie itself. But in this case, with just Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic of course does have a large audience, but it would kind of be a little unfair for those who can't get Paramount Plus, like kids, to not understand what's happening in the future movies because they didn't watch the Knuckles TV show. So I think from a practical standpoint, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, if Knuckles TV show were to take place before all the events of the Sonic movie and just focus on Knuckles' life before he met Sonic, I think that could be a really good direction to go in. Not only do I think it's a good direction to go in, I think it's actually the most likely because everything I also said before, and the fact that there's a whole lot they can do with Knuckles' character, because if I'm being honest, we don't really know a whole lot about Knuckles' background, and we probably won't learn a whole lot in Sonic Movie 2, as we've focused on Sonic the Hedgehog living by himself, meeting Tails, and probably fighting Eggman and Knuckles alongside. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of Knuckles' background from Sonic Movie 2, so I think that's what the Knuckles show is going to do to provide us a glimpse into his actual life. If they do perhaps take it in this direction, there's like a whole lot they can do with like the Chaotix and how he's like part of the detective team there, and also we can get to know more about the Echidna tribe that we saw actually try to kill Longclaw and Sonic earlier on in the first movie. So I feel like there's a whole lot of information we can learn from this Knuckles series if they go in that direction. It would also be really interesting to see how the origins of the Master Emerald play a role in this version of the Sonic the Hedgehog series, because obviously, as we know, the games and movies aren't exactly one-to-one, so it would be really cool to see just how they kind of use the Master Emerald, or the Emeralds in general, in this sense. I mean, we know they use them in the Sonic Movie 2, but how are they going to use them in this series that might take place before the events of this movie? While this would be my personal favorite direction, you know, because we get to see a whole lot of the reasoning behind the Echidna tribe wanting Sonic's power, there is another direction I think they can go in with this TV show, and that's after the Sonic Movie 2, and maybe perhaps Knuckles actually leaves Sonic and Tails in that movie and goes on his own adventures, and this could be what the series is all about. Knuckles exploring the world by himself. I think this direction is also extremely likely because we'd be able to see Knuckles' point of view of the entire world, and it would still technically be considered live action as Knuckles is going to be in the human world. Now, he could explore the world all by himself, but he also could end up meeting up with the Chaotix and exploring it with them. It would still be a Knuckles series because he would be the main character, but it would be really cool to see those characters like Vector, Espio, and Charmy appear in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, or the movie series rather. Unfortunately, I don't see the Chaotix appearing in any other fashion other than this, because if we're gonna have a Sonic movie 3, which we are, I don't see them being the next characters in the lineup to get their own movie. But who knows, it's possible. Continuing on in the direction of Knuckles exploring the world by himself, there actually should be some legitimate reason why he's doing this, and why he leaves Sonic and Tails behind. Because let's be real, by the end of Sonic Movie 2, these three are going to be friends. There's no doubt about it. But either way, the reason Knuckles should leave is probably because something happens with the Emerald. Maybe, I don't know, it's broken, and Knuckles has to go travel the world and restore all of the pieces together to bring the Master Emerald back to its entirety, or the Chaos Emerald, whichever one they're using for this film. If I'm being totally honest, I'm like everybody else when I say this, but I'm not really a huge fan of the treasure hunting levels in the Sonic Adventure games, meaning I just don't really like Knuckles levels that much. That said, I do believe it would make a fantastic TV show. I think even in this case, if the Emerald is to break at the end of the Sonic movie sequel and Knuckles sets off to go find the pieces again, I don't think you necessarily would have to watch his segment in order to know what happens in Sonic movie 3, because if he does appear in Sonic movie 3 again, and same with the Emerald, he could just say, oh, I found all the pieces again, and that would just tie up the entire plot. You wouldn't have to actually go watch the show, although it would be a lot more fun if you did. If they were to go in this direction, I think it would make the show kind of feel like DLC for the Sonic movie. It would kind of feel like there's a little bit of extra information you can have, but you don't necessarily need it to know what's going to happen next. And I think that's exactly the direction that this movie and TV show should definitely go in. Now, I guess another important question to ask is, what about characters we've seen before appearing in the show? You know, like Sonic, Tails, Eggman, etc. Are they going to show up here in this TV show? And of course, I don't know the answer to this, but if they were to go in the direction of Knuckles going across the world and treasure hunting, I honestly just don't see a reason for why they should. I mean, I feel like it'd be really cool to introduce a whole bunch of new characters for this show only, and have Knuckles interact with them and go on his own adventure. I want the spotlight to focus on Knuckles, especially if this is going to be a Knuckles show. And also, not to point out the obvious, but when Knuckles normally goes treasure hunting, he is always by himself. He doesn't have the help of Sonic or Tails or anyone else to do his work for him. You know, as I continue to bring up this whole idea of this Knuckles treasure hunting series, I think I'm changing my own mind. I think this is the direction I really want the show to go in. I say that because I think it'd be really interesting to see how Knuckles handles himself in the real world after knowing what he knows about the world currently with Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails, and Dr. Eggman. He would already know the difference between good and evil, and also be able to make his own decisions for himself, which path he wants to follow. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about here is pretty much the reason why we're getting a Knuckles TV show. In all seriousness, they could have so easily just done another Sonic TV show based off of the Sonic movie. But then again, you also have Sonic Prime happening in 2022, which is this year, so I think picking Knuckles to star in this TV show makes a whole lot more sense. It kind of gives you a chance to kind of explore the Sonic world a bit more by not just having the focal point always being Sonic, and it shows you just how important other Sonic characters are in the actual series and just how popular they can be. I'm not sure what this show is going to be about, but I can tell you right now, I am very excited. What's going on, guys? Thank you all so much for sticking around to the end of the video, but now I want to hear from you. Are you looking forward to the Knuckles series, or should it have been about a different character? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. I think this series is going to be really interesting because I feel like Knuckles is a character who has kind of suffered of recently in terms of development and in writing, so I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for him to redeem himself among Sonic fans and the general audience. That said, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. And anyway, I want to move on to thank my legendary channel members. Thank you all so much for supporting me and my content. You guys are truly the best motivators. I wake up every day praising the Lord for amazing people like you guys because I truly could not do it without you. I may say this a lot, but you guys are the best. If you want to become a member of my channel, there will be a link in the description down below. But if you want to support me through other means, leaving a like, comment, and subscribing definitely goes a super long way. But anyway, thank you all again so much for watching. This is Sonic signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?